Hiya Soundies. Today we're going to look at the digital sampler that's part of Logic Pro X, and I will be assigning you a task at the end of this. So here we go. Got it open. It's not the preset, it's not the sound to picture template, it's just I just opened it up. And I've created this audio track mainly because I want to be able to talk to you using this particular microphone rather than my USB mic, which I use most of the time. But in this instance, I want you to be able to hear exactly what's happening on Logic Pro X. So this microphone and my voice and everything that's being captured now is being sent through Logic Pro X. So you should be able to hear me well, and you should, more importantly, be able to hear what's happening on Logic Pro X far clearer than perhaps in some of the more procedural videos that I've created and step-by-step guides. So anyway, I'll just minimize that a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, imagine this doesn't exist. I'm going to create a new track, and I'm going to create an audio track. And create, and there it is. And that's going to be where I'm going to keep my source sounds, because I'm going to try and create a trash can kit using, well, this really, which is used to have treats for Bring. But it's got so warped over time that I can no longer use it to close the lid. So I'm going to use this as source sounds. I'd like you to find a range of household objects, or just one, and try and get as many sounds out of it as you possibly can once you've seen how to do this. So I'm going to click record. Hopefully now you can still hear me. I've jumped a channel, but I'm hoping that you can still hear me. The signal suggests you can. I'm going to switch off. If I've got my click on, I'm going to switch it off. I'm going to press record, and then I'm just going to, using this microphone, try and get as many sounds and different tones I can out of this biscuit tin. I'll take the click out. There we go. I don't want to hear the click. So here we go. I'll do. I was looking around for a towel so I could put it in there to take some of the resonance out to get some low grunt. And now all I'm doing is recording me. In fact, right, here we go. So let's play this stuff back. It's going to sound exactly what it is. Go. So I'm just playing this stuff back. It's going to sound exactly as it is. Oh, that could be a kick. Right. So I'm going to identify the sounds that I want. So I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to make sure my snap is off. I'm going to select my scissors icon. Okay, so, and I'm going to cut as close, but making sure I don't chop into the sound as possible. I could delete that. That's just me talking. That's just gaps. That'll do. What are these? I'll keep that one. Okay, I'm just going to delete everything I don't need. So this is the palette of sounds that I have chosen to sample. Okay, just deleting all the bits in between. There we go, and I may as well just, there we are. Okay, so now I'm going to click on Create New Track, and I'm going to select Software Instrument, and I'm going to select Sampler, Multi-Sample. There is a quick sampler somewhere here, which I haven't had a go of yet, which might be quite interesting. I just got a collaboration email. Never mind. So I'm going to select Sample, Multi-Sample, Stereo, Create, and there it is. Okay, so can you see this track is highlighted? And here's the sampler. I'm just going to click on that, and we get this. So here we are. So I'm going to go to Zone. Or am I going to go to Mapping? I might go to Mapping. That's where I want to go. I'm still getting used to this new configuration. Okay, so I don't want that sound. I want some nice thuddy bass sound. Oh, here we go. What's this one? Choose this one. It's a bit louder. I'm just going to grab it and drag it on. And I can position it at C1, which is the first C in the octave, but actually it's the second. There we go. And it's playing a few. Because you can see this is the range. So I'm going to the range of the how many notes it'll play. But I want it to be just one. So I'm going to trim that down to just the one. So it just plays on that C. Now, can you see this is the actual, let me move it up here a little bit so I can see it a bit better. This is the actual sound, and we can now trim this so it comes exactly, and we want this exactly where that sound starts. So, and we also don't need this whole load of emptiness. So, now can you see, when I take my finger off the keyboard, I don't know if you can see this, let me just, it stops playing it. And I don't want, for a drum kit, I want to be able to hit the key. Imagine this if it's a footstep, because we can do digital Foley, we can record individual footsteps on each key, something we will be doing later. So I want, can you see here, one shot? And that means it plays it all the way through, regardless of whether my finger is on the key or not. It's not something you want for everything, but if you've got a long soundscape, you just hit play and it'll trigger it all the way through to the end. Okay, so I've got my that. So what's next? I want some kind of, no, not that. That's a little bit, oh yeah, let's have that. What the hell, I can spend too much time dragging that on, trimming it to here, and now the root, can you see the root? Let's click on this one here. There we go. The root key is C1, which means when I press C1, that's the natural sound of the sample, the sound that was actually recorded. But I can change this, even though I'm still playing that key, I can move that down. So it'll be, so it's as if it's higher up. Can you see? Or if I go higher up my root key, say by 1 octave to C2, that's much more like a kick. And similarly with this one, if I move this down, it'll be higher. So again, I need to, let's just click on that. See, look at the gap there. Trim that right up and also take that down. And also maybe a little bit of a fade out, like so. Oh, I need to put my one shot on for that particular one. So one shot. Plays it all the way through. This one's a bit quiet here now, this one. So I'm going to increase the volume. Let's have one more sound. I won't spend too much time. I'm just proving the pudding. Boring. A bit boring. Okay, I'll have that one. And I'm going to have that as the next one. Trim that down. To get my disco sound, I'm going to wodge the volume up for that one. And I'm going to root it right down to make it higher. Groovy. And now I can save it. So I can go up to here. Well, actually, I can go to synth. So we're on mapping. Zone. I haven't worked out what half of this stuff does yet. But go to synth and we can tune the whole thing down even more. That tunes the whole. And we've got all kinds of filters. Let's have... Let's zonk the drive up a bit. Love it, love it. And I tell you what, particularly for any third years watching this, but anybody, feel free to go and have a real play with this and give a presentation back to class about the functionality, because I will do this, but it'd be quite nice if one of you guys could. So anyway, let's just go to factory default, go down to save as. As you can see, I've already saved a few versions of this, so I'm just going to click on that, or I'll just call it Trash Can Kit 2. And it saves it in Sampler Instruments, which is in Audio Music Apps, which is actually part of Logic. So we go to save, and there it is. And I can then select that, as I can select Sine Tone Lead and the other Trash Can Kit I did when I was practicing for this. You wouldn't believe it, I actually practiced for this before I did it. Okay, so that's demonstrating one thing, and I can then record. I'm just going to mute that. I can record something. I'm not really going to show you what I'm doing until the next episode when I want to cover MIDI in more detail. But for now, I put my click on. One, two, oh. Okay. So, I'm not showing you how to do quantize or anything like that yet. I'll do that in the next session. Okay. Now remember, I did an ooh sound, which I seem to have mistakenly deleted when I was setting my sounds up. Never mind. Nothing is ever fully gone. So let's just highlight this one here. There's my ooh sound. Ooh. So I'm going to chop that. Actually going to chop it in the middle, like so. Get rid of all of that. Here's my ooh sound. What I'm going to do is I'm going to functions, normalize region gain, and normalize it to minus 8 dB. Apply. There we are. Make it a bit. Okay, so I'm going to create another kit. Software instrument sampler. I'm going to go into sampler. I'm going to select mapping, and I'm going to drag that sound on. And I'm going to have my root as C3, which means, there we go. But I'm going to map the sound across the whole of the keyboard. That's what mapping means. We can map sounds to particular groups of keys, or single keys, or across the whole keyboard. So if I play it now, Art of Noises did a whole career on this. Okay, so there we go. Here's my sound. Mapping across. What will it let me do? Where's my actual sound itself? There it is. So I've gone into zone now. So I'm going to reverse it. So I'm not going to one shot it. If I do one shot, I hit it once, it plays it throughout the whole. And that's great if you've got a little Atmos that you want to run, or a little loop that you want to trigger. But it's a pain in the arse if you're trying to actually play something. So, I'm going to take my one shot off, but I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to trim that in, and I'm going to fade out here. She's playing it backwards now. Sorry, I'm having fun. Low. Low archetypal sounds are great in horror films. So we've done all of this now. Let's go to synth. Let's watch that volume up. Let's tune that even further down. Let's have some filters. I have no idea what any of this stuff does at the minute. I'm just playing. Let's have lush fatty. Okay, I quite like that. I'm going to go back to my mapping and I'm going to do a little fade. So it fades in, but that's too much of a fade. So I'm just going to have a tiny fade. Okay. Synth. Let's res. Groovy. Save as. Give it a name. Me. Tone 1. Save. There we go. So there it is. Here's my. I'm gonna take that out. So here we are. God knows how much of that you were hearing. Yeah, I might have to do it all again. But here we go. So I'm going to put a few things on this. Let's have, this is my sampler, audio effects. Let's have a bit of Space Designer. Love that. Let's have a bit of echo. Feedback a bit lower, bit of a less mix, even less mix, but have a little bit more feedback. Yeah, just gives it kind of feel. Let's have some modulation. Let's have some phaser. Kind of 70s kind of phaser. Not bad. Okay, and I'm just going to live with that because this is a demonstration. There you have it. put a little bit of reverb on that drum kit, shall we? Make it sound a bit sexier. Could put a bit of delay on it as well. Let's have some funky delay. What's that do? Not a huge amount. Simple filter. There you have it. Okay, thank you very much. Go and have a cup of tea. The next one will be how to actually record using MIDI and using Quantize and other MIDI functions, and explaining a little bit what MIDI is. But for now, have a brew.